Welcome to the Peak Potential Success Show. My name is Fong, and today we have another very great guest. He comes highly recommended by a few people that I know, and they go, "Man, this person is doing a lot of great work. He's been impacting a lot of people out there. You have to get him on." Hence, I'm very excited to have him here. He has found his true passion, his true calling, his true path uh, by helping others through his music and his leadership. He founded Spiritual Therapy in 2013, and ever since, he's been supporting families affected by health issues, social economic hardships, and trauma. He's also out there breaking the cycle of poverty and offering children an opportunity to really have a brighter future. Not only that, he and his foundation and his group has been hosting an annual Healing Our Kids event, and that's been going very well as well. He's been featured on ABC and NBC, and he's always out there massaging the ailing souls and wounded spirits with fiery praise. So please welcome manager and founder of Spiritual Therapy, bass player, Mr. Clayton Savage.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that introduction. You pretty much said it all. We about to close it up right now because you done said it all. I thank you for once again having me on this show because I'm trying to get the news out there that we are here. There are people that know of us and what have you, but the more that knows of us, the more support we have, and then the more outreach we can actually commit to. So I thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here.
Yes.
Share with us your origin story. How did you get to this moment in your life where you're helping so many people through your music, through your leadership? I know that lots of entrepreneurs and business individuals out there are always giving back, and that's always a part of their success as well. Not only are they creating products and services and helping people, but they're also giving back as well. So, how did you get to where you are today?
Well, first and foremost, and I would imagine everyone that you talk to, and if not everyone, majority of the people, actually it was instilled in them as a child. The way you grow up and the way that you see things happening, whether you see your parents doing it or your parents are going through to bring you up, and you see that there's a need for other families and so on and so forth. So one way or the other is usually starting from your childhood,
Mhm.
and then from that point you see that that it's the giving back that keeps the world turning. See, so that's what this is. That's what this is all about. And I love doing this. There are some, if you will, there's some hard times in every facets of everybody's life. Okay, but when we all come together as one, we can actually ease and lighten the burden by actually being help to one another. So I found all this out actually as I was growing in life. Yes.
Now, I know you've been involved with like singing music almost since the beginning, but it
Right.
wasn't until a certain point where it's all of a sudden it clicked in you. They go, I need to create this foundation. I need to create this group. So what was that moment where all that other stuff, you've done it, but
Right.
it didn't click yet? Why did you all of a sudden decide this is what I need to do?
Well, and that's an excellent question because what happened was just like I said, in everybody's life, there's some things that's going on. There's some moving pieces and what have you, and you really don't find your calling until majority of the pieces come together. Now, what happened was that my daughter was grown and gone, and then on top of all that, it was a situation whereas I'm doing things already in my construction side. That's my day job in construction, and that had actually matured and got to the point where but I saw that there was more, and I was actually involved in at a certain point. I would say this probably, let's just say 35, 40 years later is when everything came together for me because once again my daughter is grown and gone and my business has matured. I'm sitting here saying, if you will, okay, what's next? But then I'm in a band as well. And we're playing and we're doing certain things, what have you. And I can see how productive this could be. They went to a certain level and pretty much stopped there. And I said, but there's more. So this caused me to, if you will, that band opened my eyes, and this caused me to say, do more, and the more that you do, it can be with this music, because music, everybody understands music.
Mhm.
See, so the whole thing in a nutshell is that once I saw this, I say, okay, let me step out further. Let me do a little bit more. Let's establish something and let's make something bigger, better, more organized so that we can help lives. So therefore, here it is. I'm doing what I love. By the same token, I'm giving back to the people with something that I love to do.
Take us back to that moment again where you're making the decision. You want to do more. You want to make it bigger. You want to make more of an impact. However, at the same time, you're like, okay, my business is doing well.
Right,
My band's doing well.
right,
I'm feeling my daughter just grew up and she's out and all that kind of stuff. I can kind of relax now.
right, right.
So there's going to be people around you, go, why put yourself through all that effort and all that hardship, knowing that in order to get this going, there's going to be a lot of hard times before it really goes skyrocket.
That's right. That's right.
So how did you manage the people telling you, hey, just, slow down, enjoy your life. You've everything is set. Why put that much more effort into something that's going to be hard? And then when it is hard, how did you overcome that to keep on going?
Right. Well, once again, a lot of things are instilled in you as far as to answer the last question first. How did I keep going, and how did I actually, if you will, push back the background noises to actually overcome that to get to the point of pushing through the hard times? Uh, that was simply, again, through childhood, as you're growing and as you're developing, you're going through hardships then, and you're learning how to actually develop and how to withstand the hard times. Being tenacious actually is part of being taught. Okay, now you can actually have this, be born with it, if you will. But what actually causes that to mature is the challenges that you have along the way. And as those steps you make, they're baby steps. And as you get further and further along, before you know it, when you look back, you done came a long ways, and it was hard, but look at where I got to because I kept going. And the only reason why I was able to keep going is because of those baby steps and those different things that I kept doing, ignoring the background noises, and actually, uh, 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 if you will, trying to fulfill what it is that was in my heart to get done. And that, if you will, being tenacious again is being taught. Okay, so I'll say one other thing here. They have a saying that says, adversity builds character. Okay, but then also there's another saying that says adversity exposes character. So as you're going along, you'll find out where your shortcomings are, and you build on that. And now your character is bigger and better than you ever thought it could be.
That is very, very true and very, very important
Yes,
in anything that we do and in anything that we truly want to achieve, whether
yes,
it's creating that foundation, helping others, building a business, entrepreneurship. If we're not tenacious,
that's right.
nothing ever happens.
That's right.
Um, are you able to bring us back to a moment in which you're going along, the foundation set, you're doing all these performances, you're impacting lots of people, and there was this one scenario or one moment where you go, that's what it is. I told you, this is what I'm looking for. We
Right.
are making an impact. Let's keep on going. Can you share with us that story?
Uh, literally, uh, there was something that happened. Unfortunately, I was at a funeral that this lady had passed away, and I called her mama because she's like a mama to everybody. And I was there, um, and I'm the one that actually gave the eulogy to this lady. And when we went to the gravesite, there were people that was out there that was part of her family, a part of her family I never knew, and of course other friends and family were having. And there's a few people came up to me and said, "I know you," and they said, "You're part of spiritual therapy. You do things for St. Jude." And right then, I said, "I'm getting the message out."
Mhm.
They was telling how they enjoy the concerts and what have you next. So you'd be surprised uh what people are or who sees you, and then you'll also be surprised at where is acknowledged. This at a gravesite, you don't know. And this, let's say it this way: this lady that I eulogized, it wasn't a sad moment because this lady had lived a full life, and the reason why everybody call her mama is because she shares with everybody. And that's what I'm saying about people giving back. Because anybody that was hungry, anybody look, if you was in the neighborhood, come on in. I got some extra food. This is the way she was. And so, with that being said, I'm surrounded by a lot of people that loves to give.
Right.
And despite how the world looks like people that take, there's more people that wants to give than there's people that wants to take. So again, at that gravesite was another moment that, like I said, just happened less than a week ago. And I can say we're doing some good. And that's all I want. Long as somebody can say, "Clayton, you made an impact on our lives," I'm satisfied.
Mhm.
And let's say it this way too: it's things like that that causes you to move forward in the hard times. Because as long as you can see that you're doing something, and so you're succeeding at what it is that you was going after, those little bitty pieces pushes you so far. That's it.
Very, very true. And what a great story. And again, you never know. You never know how you're impacting people, and you never know who's watching. And
That's right.
therefore, if you're consistent with what you're doing and you're persistent in what you're doing, eventually odd people will find out, and you're like, hey, it's the message is getting out there.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I know you do a lot of performances. You're at different venues and whatnot. Is there a typical group or scenario or concerts that you enjoy kind of being at and making the most impact at?
Are you saying that I go to see, or one
That
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 I'm
you
actually
perform
putting
at?
on?
That yeah.
Huh?
So like that you perform at. Like, is there a specific type of what do you call it? Groups, gathering communities that who reach out that you go, yeah, that's definitely the type of groups and people that I would like to perform at or have my message at.
Well, I would prefer my message to be everywhere.
Mm.
Okay. I mean, if I could be as big as Bruce Springsteen, I'm straight. But my point is though, is that I want everybody to see spiritual therapy, but see us in the light that we're trying to shine. Not just the music, but the music is causing you to open up your heart to give to those kids.
Right.
And that's our main purpose. We, it's all right to be heard, it's all right to be liked, but are you producing anything? And I'm trying to produce, if you will, more funds to go toward these kids that needs chemo and needs doctor cares on a daily basis and what have you. There's surgery that has to be done and what have you. There's these kids needs these things. So as far as performing, I don't mind performing anywhere. I'll go into the pits of hell to perform as long as he drops some dollars in there so we can give it to the kids. That's the bottom line right there. So yeah, there's no specific. We perform mostly at churches, uh, but we have performed at different venues, such as certain assembly halls, or certain. There's one place that we really, really loved, but they closed down about 5 years ago, which was called the Upper Room. It was a great place to perform. The sounds and everything was perfect. And that's the only challenging, or the biggest, not the only, but the biggest challenge that we have is when we go to different places trying to set up the sound, there's no guarantee. But when you find a place that actually gives you exactly what you want, and the setting is the same way every time you go back, that is perfect. That way we know we're giving the people what it is that we feel in our hearts. And that's that. Yeah.
There's the technical speak coming. As much as you like speak singing and performing, there's always that, oh, the ideal sound that's
That's right.
perfect in a certain venue.
That's right.
There's a lot of scenarios where people have bands come in, they'll sing, and after they sing, they're gone. They do their thing, they're gone.
Right.
But you guys do a whole lot more than that. You
Right.
have you sit down and you chat with people, you meet with people. Tell us a little bit more about that and how much more of an impact that is making.
Well, when you're talking to people, uh, of course, let's just say, for instance, um, how can you say it? If you have a person that comes in and they themselves have some trauma going on in their lives, they may not even know it, but all of a sudden, spiritual therapy will send them a check.
Mhm.
Okay, something just to help out. The check doesn't eliminate the problem, but it may soothe some of the pain, if you will. And then all of a sudden, you get conversations from others who had heard that we did this. And then we're talking about why I did it. And just like you asking me questions, what keeps you going? What's this, that, and so on and so forth. They're asking, well, what motivated you to do that? Or why do you do? Well, the thing is giving back and trying to ease some others' burdens, because together we all can make it across the finish line. There's times where you have people. I've seen races, and I know you have seen stories like this, where there's a marathon and somebody is running, and this person may have had an ailment or something like that. They know they're not going to come in first, but just to run that marathon and pass or cross that finish line, that's the important thing. And then you find sometimes where the person who has crossed the finish line, they look back and they see this person is struggling. That person may go back across the finish line, pick that person up, and help walk them across that finish line. This is something that we all must do. We must look back and see who it is that we can help, so we can escort them across the finish line. If you notice this as well, when you're in an airplane and they tell you about the emergency devices, they tell you what drops down the little air chamber thing, or whatever it is they call the mask that they have on. They tell you to actually suit up first and then help the ones that actually can't be helped, which are maybe the elderly or the children. In other words, they're telling you, since you're in good shape, get yourself totally together so you can completely go back and help them. And that's what that's all about, helping out others, bringing this thing all the way across the finish line. Yeah,
I can totally relate to that.
yeah,
I've had a couple experiences of running a marathon before, and
yeah,
man, that community is so supportive.
yes,
Everybody's helping each other out. Everybody's getting making sure that they'll finish whatever they need, kind of thing, and they'll go back and kind of drag them
right,
along.
right.
And it's so supportive, and I love
That's
it.
right. That's right.
When it comes to helping people, when people get into the foundation and you're chatting with them, do you retain that relationship throughout? And do you have any case studies or any examples in which somebody's come through and they've become something else afterwards, who has really benefited and was really grateful for what has transpired through the foundation?
Well, we have developed some friends, if you will. We developed some relationships, not a whole lot, but we have developed some friends, people who say, "Can I call you?" or what happens that, and we'll talk. Uh, I don't know. It could be once a month, once every other month, or something like that.
Hmm.
But nonetheless, there is a friendship there. I would tell you what I'm most proud of is that when we contact St. Jude, we do our own little advertising and what have you. However, St. Jude stopped putting out their spiritual therapy who supports us, this and that. And they set forth, as a matter of fact, I thought our event planner, Tony, I thought he had reached out to them to ask, but it wasn't. We just put it out there. We did let them know we was doing something, but when I talked to Tony, he told me, he says, "No, I didn't tell him to do that. I didn't tell him to advertise that. I didn't." So that makes me feel good, meaning that they know that we out there to support them and that we mean business. It's not just a fly by night thing, and it didn't happen just one day and then we're gone. They
Hmm.
know that we're there to support these kids.
Hmm. And
That's
and one of the ways that you're supporting the kids is through the annual event of Healing to Our Kids.
that's right.
How
That's
did
right.
that come about? And also share with us a little bit more about that event and how can people be involved?
Well, I'll start back when we started in 2013. We actually were promoting and or helping advocacy groups to actually raise money for breast cancer awareness.
Hmm.
So we did that all the way up until 2019. 2020 is when we started to uh, raise money for St. Jude, and was going to do the first concert then. But as you know, in 2020, March of 2020, everything shut down. Okay, but we didn't let that stop us. We went out and purchased coffee mugs, and we had a EP released in 2017, and we took those things and we sold them. We did real good selling those things and sent all that money to St. Jude. So doing that from that point, once I would say really last year before, this is 20 in 23 is when we had our official concert. Now we have been raising money for St. Jude through up to that point. But we had our official concert. And once we go into the concert deal, what happens now, and the people see what we're doing, then they are ready to get on board. They're ready to talk. They're ready to see what's going on. And then on top of that, what I'm very proud of is the type of music. Even though some of them is cover music, we produce a very good sound because we don't want you just coming to just any old thing. We want you to hear something good, and this something that's good should be able to break through to your heart and cause you to fall in love with our concept and our group as a whole.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I hope I answered your question. I know I went off on a tangent, but getting started in 2020 is when we got started, and we were moving from the breast cancer awareness until St. Jude and to do something for the kids. And
Mhm.
so basically, that's how we got started in that. Yeah,
So at this concert, is it where people come in, they watch the performance, they can mingle, they can kind of network a little bit, and then are there other presentations and stuff like that as well to talk more about it? Or
that's right.
yeah, okay, awesome.
Yeah, no. It's like you said. Basically, this last one, uh, we had a video, and just like the commercials that you see of St. Jude with the different children and how we had that in between. We may do 2 or 3 songs, and then we'll show a couple of clips by kids, kids that has actually overcome the or if you will, is surviving because of St. Jude. And there's one clip that really got me was with Danny Thomas, the founder, and and it was showing how not only was how it got started and how he took his money from acting
Mhm.
and he gave back. I think it was 32,000 he started it off with. Now this thing is worth billions of dollars, And here it is. He started off with $32,000, and the clip showed how this one lady came to St. Jude and said, "Can you help my child?" And the doctor said, "No, we're going to heal her." That right there was powerful. That was powerful. And so the thing is, they take these kids in with the concept of we're going to heal every last kid come in here, regardless to what. We're going to heal them. We're going to develop some kind of way of them to live a life that's fuller than what everybody else told them they would be or wouldn't be. So yeah, that is something that we did. We shared that, and going forward, it's going to be the bigger concerts will be like that. The smaller concerts may have a little this, that, and the other, but the bigger concerts will have the actual clips showing how they came, how they arrived, and the whole 9 yards. Absolutely.
You mentioned bigger concerts, and I'm assuming that's also with your band as well.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that you mentioned in your on your website, you said, "Hey, my vision is to take this big, take this
That's right.
far, and for more impact and more exposure. However, you want to make sure that you maintain who you are. You want to
That's
make
it.
sure that you still have faith, and you still have that connection with your spirituality and all that kind of stuff." Explain to us a little bit more about how that is an app, like that is very, very important because lots of people lose that. So how do you make sure that you maintain that? And why do most people lose it when they get to a certain level of success?
The sad part is, and that's an excellent question. The sad part is, some people don't know how to stay humble, and there are different promoters that will come see that you have something where they can make money off of, and if that's the case, then they start promoting them to do things that they shouldn't do, and it's easy to get lost if you don't stay focused. And that's the whole thing, is staying focused and not allowing money to be, because the more money you start saying, well, I don't have to give this. So no, if that's what you intend to give to them, give that to them. And that's the thing. If you say, well, no, I'm gonna go and put it off into this, that, and this is gonna support me. Now you're talking about me, 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 when it's supposed to be them
Mhm.
and others. If you start to do things like that, now you done lost your focus. You didn't start, things are not balanced like they need to be. And I found out that whenever I went on and did, despite what I'm going through, when I went on and did the right thing, listen, the cavalry always came through. Somebody came up, somebody helped me. It was something that came up, and just like I said, there's a lot of good people. And the thing is, while I'm out there on the firing line, I'm supposed to focus forward. And then somebody else got my back. And that's the same way I'm supposed to do others. I got your back as long as you're doing XYZ. And when you begin to just say, well, I can do this, I'm gonna pull this back, and then the promoter, I'm gonna give you one good example. Um, oh man, the group didn't slip my mind. It was a group called Incognito, and the lady singer was named Mesa. excellent, excellent band, excellent, the whole 9 yards. Somebody came later on and promoted her or started to talk to her and convinced her to go out on her own. The band's never been the same since.
Mhm.
They still good, but they were better together. See, and so that's the thing. You can't lose your focus and where you are, because once you do that, divide and conquer. You're down. You know.
Very, very true. There's also this very common saying that I hear a lot of people say, and that is, you know what, I'll give back after I'm successful. I'll give back when I have it. I can't do this now because I'm not at this level yet. What do you say to that? And then also, how did you balance it?
Like I had said, if you heard just, I'm gonna pull that little piece out. I said I found out, regardless to what I was going through, I did for others anyway. And then all of a sudden, he come the cavalry. So that's all it is. Uh, Now, here's the thing: you got to pay attention to how you came up out of that.
Mhm.
You got to pay attention to that, the fact that you were brought up, you were brought through. There was somebody that helped you. If you don't, then your faith never grows
Mhm.
because you never knew what supported you, and you never knew that just waiting and doing what you needed to do and waiting, that help was going to come, because now you never waited for that help. There's no faith in that. You can't build your faith actually just saying, I could do it myself. And then guess what? When you become that island, you become alone. That's the bottom line.
Mhm. One thing we also mentioned was staying true to yourself and who you are. With regards to your band and spiritual therapy, what is your sound? Lots of people may or may not have heard the music or know the style of your music. Share with us, how did you find your group sound and what's that like?
Well, basically, if you uh, like with any band or any musician or whatever it's not, uh, they have a certain style to themselves. And when you have a style, me, if you will, I'm more so on the contemporary gospel side.
Mhm.
Okay. If you will, contemporary spiritual, however you want to call that. With that being said, you have to look for the people who are like you.
Mhm.
That way you can create or be successful in creating the sound that you feel.
Mhm.
Okay. So I I'm not, if you will, all that versatile. I'm not monolithic either, but I'm not all that versatile. I could do a little bit of jazz. Uh, Gospel contemporary is my show enough. And I may be able to do, yeah, some pop. I could do some pop.
Mhm.
But uh, where I live is in the spiritual slash gospel contemporary.
Mhm.
And the people that I bring on board as far as the musicians and singers, whatever that, they're the same.
Mhm.
And that's the only way that you can develop the sound that you are actually looking for. And really, in essence, all music has this spiritual guidance to it. All of it does. It's just that you have to be true to who you are so you can express that spiritual feeling or guidance that's there.
Right.
If you go and try to do something different, it never translates, it's never transformed, it never transport or conveyed to the people out there in the audience because it's not you. But if you get something that's you feel it and you just go ahead and do your do. That's that.
As you're saying that, I was thinking it's like a rock star all of a sudden sing country and vice
Right,
versa.
right, right, right. And another, listen, people will actually come to the concert, especially if you got a big name. They come to the concert and they hear you do a certain thing. They'll say, "Nah, he shouldn't try that." I've heard that so many times. Oh, they shouldn't have tried to do that. Oh, they good, but they shouldn't have did this. You know,
Mhm.
Bruce Springsteen. And the reason why I'm bringing him up so much is because he's got this new documentary or something that's out,
Ah,
and he stayed true to himself. That's what made him successful.
mhm.
Yeah. So that's what you got to do. What you feel is what's true. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this real quick too. My grandfather said, all out of all of the five senses that you have, which one is the greatest one? Well, after everybody's saying different things, he said it's your feelings. Because even if you don't have your eyesight, you can feel your way through. Yeah, yeah, come on now. And my grandfather, he would say certain things. He says because when you have feelings, someone can be standing right beside you and feel what you feel.
Mhm.
It's amazing how the energy just goes by, and that's the same thing in music. When you play music, you can put a few notes together, but you can hear this one singer sing it. It's all right. But then you turn around and here go Aretha Franklin. She sings it, and then all of a sudden, it's all that in a bag of chips. That's just the way it is. It depends on the feel.
Right.
And when you get to that and you can reach the people that way, you got it.
Mhm. Uh, since you mentioned energy and the feeling, how do you maintain the feeling of positivity? Like, in order for you to go out there and impact people and have that positivity and share all these stories and sing and perform, you have to have a certain amount of positivity and faith that this is all going to work out. But you see hardship, you see people in trauma. How do you maintain that energy and maintain that positivity?
Well, the energy, once again, from time to time, is just like I would say when I was explaining about how I got to this point and how it started was me as a child. And these little baby steps really added and built up my faith. So now my faith is so strong, I can't, if you will, I can't see anything knocking me down. Now I'm not saying it can't, but I'm just saying I can't see it. Okay. Just to give you an example, I played in my concert band in high school for 2 years. And the bass players, we had a few bass players. We had one of them, he was first chair. I, I, well, let me keep it this way. He was first chair. And as we would play and what have you, there was another part of that music arena, which was concert band. Well, not concert band, but stage band. Okay. So I was in concert band, but I was just a little bit in stage band. But the main bass player who sat first chair, he was the man. Well, one day my teacher walked to me as we were playing around with things, what have his name in music, and he walks to me. The lead guitar player, he told him, "You'll make it." He said, "But Clayton, you'll never be a bass player." Well, guess what? I'm a bass player today. You know what I'm saying? And really, it's those times. My mother used to say this also. She used to say that every knock is a boost. So every time someone knock you, get that chip on your shoulder and say, "This is what I was called to do, and I'm going to get it done."
Mhm.
That's part of the tenaciousness.
Right.
It's building tenaciousness. That's all it's doing, and you're growing. And as you're growing, your character is building, you know? And so therefore, the adversities that come to me now is not as much of an adversity as it used to be.
Hmm.
So again, when you're doing things like that, uh, you've gone through those type of things. What ultimately happens is that you found out you built your brick house. You didn't build your house of straws.
Hmm.
You wasn't something that you just did a little here there. Only the people that goes out there and face the challenges are the ones who actually build something that will stand. That's the bottom line.
Very,
So
very
that's
well.
how I handle it. That's how I go up against it. If you tell me, well, no, Clay, yes, nah, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, well, that's your opinion, that's your view, and why did you say it? And maybe in their why is something they see a weakness, and I could take that and say, oh, okay, then I'm gonna build on this.
Mhm.
That's how you do it.
Speaking about building, listening to you talk about the foundation, all the work that you do in the band, you have a business. How do you maintain that all these things are standing up? Like, do you have the right teams, the right people, the right systems involved to keep everything building like well?
Well, part of it is sleepwalking. You can't afford to sleep. But no, here's the deal, though. Here's the real deal. Absolutely. I actually wanted to retire from construction about 5 years ago, and I sit on this board, uh, the United Methodist Union, and I'm the only contractor on that board. I think it's something like 53 people or whatever it's not, but I'm the only contractor on the board. And we do things for the churches by giving them money to actually build, loaning, or whatever the case may be. So we do things to support these churches so that they can survive. Well, there was a lot of things where some of these churches were making poor decisions, and uh, and it was in the construction arena, if you will. Well, they asked me would I go out and take a look at things. Well, so from that point, it grew from me just taking a look at it to me actually hiring the contractors, supervising them. So now it's not like as if I have to have my own guys. I get guys that are contractors, and to some degree, maybe some of them I'll sub out to, and then some of them it's their project, but I'm just making sure the project goes well. And that right there, like I said, here come the cavalry. I I was gonna retire. I wasn't gonna do that anymore. I was, it meant less money for the household. But here come the cavalry, and then all of a sudden the board asks, "Can you do this for us?" That's the reason why you got to have that faith and you stand within there. And as long as you do what's right, right gonna come back to you. That's just the bottom line.
Awesome. I think that's a great way to end it because like very, very powerful message. Do what's
Absolutely.
right, then the cavalry will come. So thank you very
That's
much
right.
for that.
That's right.
Um, before I do let you go, I got five quick rapid fire questions for you. Give me
Yeah.
the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
You're stranded on a deserted island. You get to eat one food for the rest of your life. What would that be? And you'll still be healthy.
Uh I love papaya. So I'm
Nice
gonna
to
go with that.
hear.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go with that.
Papaya it is. Hollywood calls and goes, "Hey, Clayton, we love your story. Very, very inspirational. We would love to do a biopic of you. Who would you cast to play you?"
Ooh. I would say Denzel Washington, but he's too pretty.
Don't say that.
You know what? Everybody say I favor Azra Elba,
Yeah, I
so
was
it'll
gonna
be
say
him.
that.
Yeah, it would be him. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, he shows up at your door and goes, "Hey, buddy, I got casted to play you. Let's get to know each other. Let's have some fun." What does that night look like?
Um, Well, I don't know if I would get, as you can see, I could talk. So it would be a long night for him. Uh, so it's one of the things where I don't know, get some food from time to time, talk things over, see exactly what, and then I just tell him the essence of me. You know, this is who I am. I'm about giving, and I love people, and I want this world to actually go further than what it has gone so far. So if I tell him something like that, I think he will have the essence of me, and then he can go from there.
Mhm. You are given the opportunity to perform on stage with anybody you want, dead or alive. Who would it be?
Ooh, probably Aretha Franklin.
Great
Aretha
choice.
Franklin, yeah.
You're in a car, and for some reason or another, there's only one song playing on repeat, and you're in this car for hours. What's that one song that you don't mind listening to? And could we hear a line or two?
Um, oh man, I got so many songs. Um, there's a song that we recorded on an EP, and it's called "Here I Am Again." And the essence of that is that no matter what you do and how long you live and how much you gain, you still need the Lord. So here I am again. Yes, that's the song I would constantly listen to.
Would you mind singing a few lines?
Oh, I can't sing. Oh, I can't sing. I just play. No, no, this will ruin the whole interview.
Ah, I
Yeah.
thought I had you there. All
Yeah.
right, last question. Give me pick between one or two.
Two.
Two. So the word is circus.
Okay.
How would you compare the circus with success? How is success like a circus?
Well, how success like a circus? I got something in my head. I just gotta get it out. Success like a circus is simply a circus to me is well organized. Okay. When the people coming out, how they gonna they had to actually practice before they came out. They have to study what they're doing, like the lion tamers or whatever. They have to study that animal. So it's well organized. That's how it connects with success.
And I see that. So that's how success is like a circus.
Yep.
Once again, thank you very much for your time, your stories, everything
Thank
that you
you.
do, and what you do for the community and the children out there. Uh, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, get connected with you, and have you guys perform and all that kind of stuff?
If they was to look up spiritual therapy foundation .com and then or my number is 313-434-1482 and you can reach me directly at that. You could go on our Facebook page, Spiritual Therapy Music, and now email is spiritual therapy music at gmail.com. So those are different ways you can reach us.
Awesome. So make sure you connect with Clayton. And any final words from you that you would like to share?
Well, no, let me say these are hard times, but keep your head up and focus on helping, and you'd be surprised at how much it causes you to push certain things back. And with that being said, while you're focusing on helping, somebody's gonna come to your rescue. The cavalry is coming.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. So everybody make sure,
Thank you.
again, connect with Clayton. And until next time, he's Clayton. I'm Fong. Today is the day to lock your peak potential. We'll see you later.
Thank you.